Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do a beautiful seascape, kind of a close-up large wave on a square canvas. And you've probably seen those photos of those like large crashing waves that you kind of look through. It's one of those. It should be a lot of fun. If you're looking forward to seeing this and you'd like to see more, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. All right, let's get started. Now we'll start off today with a nice light blue, just blue, white, and red. Red in there to make it not too shiny. I've got the entire canvas coated with clear gel and white. I'm not worried about it becoming slippery because I can always wipe it off with the paper towel if it does get slippery. So, which we almost surely will be doing, right? Okay, that looks pretty good. I don't know if that's really sky or water, and I really don't care. It's whatever the viewer thinks. I'm just gonna roll with it. All right, that looks pretty decent. Now, we may wanna do a quick sketch. But before we do that, I'm going to throw just a little more color right down here toward the bottom. This is going to be a little darker. In fact, it wouldn't hurt to have a little green cast to it. See, the clear gel and white mix here really allows you to get these stripes of blended color that you really wouldn't be able to get with a dry canvas very easily. Shouldn't go too far though before I consume all of my white canvas with this. I should stop. It's hard to stop. This is kind of fun blocking in these large stripes of color. Now, as you can see, I did a sketch and I've just spent the last couple minutes at the most just doing lines like this with varying colors, mostly just some turquoise and some green. And that just creates some initial shape, you know, to this whole water area. It's important, I've noticed, to keep the lines consistent. As soon as I started to trail off or have one kind of cross over the wrong way, you know, not slope quick enough, it started to look kind of funny, and I had to go back and cover over that area. So that's all right. Looks decent though. Now that we've sketched this out, we can take our, what I wish was a shop towel, I'm out, and just rub this area to remove some extra paint. Because we're using a paper towel, I'm going to have to do this a little more slowly and a little more carefully, otherwise I'll get those horrible paper towel shavings in my painting. Make sure that you have all of your painting supplies. It does help. Of course, if you need to stock up, definitely go to the website and check it out. We've got brushes and paint and all that good stuff. We don't have the shop towel, so I'll have to go to the automotive section for the shop towels though. There, that looks pretty good. Nice. And you can also use this to just start removing a little bit of the extra paint here in the same fashion you would with a brush. Now I'm using a clean, gotta wipe that out, clean 3/4 brush to blend a little sharp line that I stuck up here. That line, of course, indicates some shadow. See that? It's just a lot of repetitive stuff, you know? There's not a lot of steps to it. There's just a lot of smushing color in and working it around. There, that looks pretty decent. I'm just gonna continue to blend. There's really not much to this part. There. That looks good. Now we will need to put some color in the eye of the wave, and maybe just didn't really do it. Maybe just a little, start a little foam, start a little action right up in here, you know? I think we need these little waves to add interest, but wow, even that kind of goes in nice, doesn't it? And this is very wet, and we may need to wipe the canvas, or just, you know, or just use more paint even. We'll see. Stuff like this is actually very forgiving because we do want it blended and we do want it soft, so it's not like a tree. We don't really want a tree soft, but even water in the foreground is blurry, especially when it's moving like this. So you get away with a little more. Kind of fun. All right, let's just continue to work on this. So I'm just establishing, you know, the shape. That's pretty good right there. Kind of just continue to work on it. I'm just noticing on my own painting, so you'll probably have this too. I keep messing the shape up and having to go back constantly to correct. So that's all right. It's pretty doable. It's just a matter of doing it. There, oh, I like that blue. I need a little more of that blue. We're gonna play with a lot of color today. As much of these different color changes as I can get, you know, the better. Now I'm going to begin to work on the foam. This is only the first step of many. And I've never painted foam quite like this, but I've never painted foam over, you know, something as little paint as this. At least not that I remember. Right now somebody says, I remember one. Well, you know, I don't remember all of them very well, but that's okay. As far as I can, don't you love how I get distracted? As far as I can remember, I've never really painted one like this. And so I'm just going to tap and try to create the softness, very, very soft. And I'm tapping with a very soft brush. Now this one's a little old. You may not want to take your beautiful new chisel edge brush and start tapping with it. Definitely don't do that. But if you've got one that's a little older, or simply a brand new filbert brush would be great. This one happened to be in my hand, and you know, that's okay. It is slightly older, so I'm not at all concerned about it being mushy, you know, getting mushed in. There. That looks good. See, the more you tap it, the softer it becomes. I like it. I want that soft, soft, soft look of mist. And then we'll put some sharper layers of mist over that. You see, I already kind of did this one right here. Not bad. Just reload. Maybe tap. I don't want to go too crazy yet on the edge here. It's just not necessary, not yet. We need some details, but that's kind of pretty. Leaving a lot of these turquoise bits, you know? Oh yeah, because a lot of this will end up getting covered if you do too much of this, because we're just not that far along in the painting. Now this really needs to be a little brighter. Of course, you can wipe all of this off with a paper towel and redo it if you need to. If you need to get it brighter or something, if it gets muddy. So, that's a bonus. Just continue to tap here. You don't want texture necessarily. Let me stand back. Oh yeah, that is looking a little too clumpy. I'm gonna try to get the clumpies out and try to make it more moving in the right direction. See how I was starting to do clouds almost? Now I'm going to move it in a direction. Get a little something, color, some sort of color, turquoise, and just mush that in and just create, there we go, the feeling of the wave crashing down. That's much, much, much better already. Okay, good. Whew, we dodged that one. Yeah. You can just get some more colors going too. So, as you can see, it's just a back and forth game today. But it is so much fun. I've wanted to do one of these for a little while now, and I've looked at a lot of photos to make sure that I at least had an idea of how it should look. This isn't going to be perfect, you know. For as much time as I have been on beaches and stuff, I've never really seen any waves this big in person before. Just those tiny waves. I got experience with the tiny waves, not really with the big ones. So, yeah, I'm kind of going by photos. There, see how just tapping that dark color in adds that little bit of shadow that's so desperately needed in paintings, isn't it? Cool. And over here, it's just really, really going crazy. So let me do this one over here next. Super, super broken up and turbulent over here. I don't even know what's going on. We'll make sense of that later, hopefully. There. You'll notice I haven't really cut in very many sharp lines. You know how you normally do sharp foam lines? I'm sort of saving the sharpness for the end. I want to pull the sharpness out of the blurriness, leaving blurriness. That's the plan. Now I'm going to go ahead and shape some of this area with foam. And that really will help to create that nice look of, you know, of the wave curling up. Don't go crazy with white. This is just pure white. Well, close to it in the brush. You know, I had a dirty brush slightly, so that's not pure white perfectly. But anyway, that's not the point of getting distracted. The point is that we don't want a whole lot of this bright foam. We want it to quickly transition into shadow. There's two ways. You can either let it, you know, just let the brush run out of paint, which is kind of what I'm doing here, or you can just change to a more shadowy color. There, that looks pretty decent, doesn't it? You know, if at any time this starts to feel muddy, stop and wipe the canvas so that you don't have any problems. It's just so easy to fix. It's not worth struggling over, that's for sure. I like those little spots of foam there. So we'll just continue doing this sort of stuff make sure to follow that wave. Now, if for some reason you don't, you can always wipe it in. I'll probably do that as well. Fairly large foam patterns today, aren't they? There. Maybe, see up in here, you can kind of curl them more. Pretty easy to follow the wave. It's really not that challenging at all. I'd say it's super easy. Nice. I'm loving the softness that we're getting here. Nice soft touch on the brush. I'm not getting anything too crispy, which is cool. Ooh, I grabbed a little dark color and brought it up here. I actually like that, so we're gonna roll with it. You remember, I haven't actually painted in an eye of the wave yet. I've just sort of let the clear gel and white and whatever mixed in with it to just be my eye of the wave. I don't know if I'm gonna keep that or not, or if I'm gonna add one. I haven't really figured it out. So we'll figure it out here real soon though. Cool. Be sure to step back and make sure everything's looking decent. Nothing worse than having it all done and then stepping back and realizing you don't like it. There. All right, that's starting to come together. Speaking of all of that, what I'd like to do is maybe just darken this one shade. Just kind of brush over it there, so it's not quite so bright at the top. Now I'm gonna go ahead and very gently dot on a little more highlight. The first highlight we sort of smashed in, and this one I'm being so much more careful with so that I don't have a lot of mixing. Obviously there's that inevitable little bit, but I don't want a lot. So get a nice little highlight kind of going here. Maybe have it crash over just a little there. That works. You can always go back and soften it, so maybe put it on a little sharper than you think you want it. Now right up here, get a little crashy thing going. Not bad. Lots of rushing water today, isn't there? It's going everywhere. Okay, be careful. I don't want to make it look like a cloud. That's been something that I've had to watch for. There, see now it's splashing down a little more. Okay. And still kind of looking at it, with the thought of I've got to soften it back a little. It's awfully sharp. Maybe put some right here, leaving my little kind of misty area intact. I'll go a little smaller, and that actually might help create a little more interest. All right. That's looking pretty good. A little more here. I gotta figure out what I want to do, especially kind of in this area. Maybe, yeah. Something like that, maybe. That's cool. Maybe bring that down a little. More paint. And this is the 3/4 brush again. You could easily do this with a filbert brush if you want to. All right. Just kind of experimenting around a little bit today. It's coming out good though. Soft. And softness is okay. It's a soft overall painting. It's not super sharp, but I think it's gonna look good. It certainly looks like summer, doesn't it? It's a good summer painting. Now, unlike when you're landscape painting, especially this seascape, is a little hard to know when to stop, There's a point where you can get it too sharp, and that's kind of what I'm avoiding, hopefully. And anyway, I'm carefully using the little liner brush now. That's what should have said in the beginning. I'm using the liner brush. And I'm trying to carve in some of these details without going crazy. There, so I'm gonna step back. Yeah, I like the sharpness that gives, actually, I gotta say. Just talking about, it being too sharp, but I don't think it is yet. I like those. I really do. I think that gives that just a little bit more life, especially here in the middle. Now, because this is probably the last thing you're gonna do is use the liner brush, it's okay to lay it on a little thicker. It's super bright that way. You can kind of blend it, do a little more with the liner brush than you maybe would if you're painting trees, you know what I mean? you wouldn't get in and start painting leaves necessarily with the liner brush. But here I'm kind of creating these foam areas by using my flat on my brush with this thin paint. And that's all right. We can even do that up in there if you want to. All right, not bad. Kind of stepping back. If I don't do that every couple seconds, I'm just going to stand here and talk to you and overdo. And I don't want that. Nice. Occasionally you might pick up a little more, a little more paint. I kind of hit a globby of paint right there. See that? Nice. Isn't that funny though, by the way? I just thought about this. Your white starts here and it works its way down here as the palette gets dirty. That's so funny. Just thought about that. Nice. You can obviously come back with blue or with a turquoise mix or something and add extra ones in. Let's see about maybe wiping, if we wipe all the color out of the brush and just kind of grab it. Oh, I like that effect. It gives you something else. Nice, I'm liking the sharpness of it actually. Not a whole lot of contrast, because if you do crazy amounts of contrast, I don't have really any, even my corners are not black. If you have a lot of contrast, it's going to seem almost too jarring. If you look at an ocean wave like this, photos of them, this is more contrast than normal. So that kind of gives you an idea. They're fairly low contrast. Nice. Being super careful to follow the wave shape, but you see how I can make little miniature waves in there? I like that. Just kind of go crazy. I've got basically just a dry brush here. I'm liking that little swell we're getting. That's cool. That's really cool. Maybe a little more right here. Just brighten that up. Just hit it and touch it like that. And blend it in. Not too bad. Oh yeah, nice and bright. Okay, so pretty much just having fun. Just showing you a lot of this liner brush work, because there's not a lot in this painting. It's just a lot of the same, So that's just kind of the way it is. It makes for a fun day though, because you kind of get into a groove and go. A lot of similar stuff. Now using the detail brush, I'm going to carefully go around and just throw in a last minute touch of turquoise anywhere where I don't have my thin paint. Of course, you wouldn't want to go there. That would be kind of sad. It wouldn't work out too well. But this is going to be kind of the first thing people see. So of course it's fitting to throw it in the last second, right? But just this punch of color is going to be so pretty. I like that. See that? Just tiny, tiny dots. Not a lot, but it makes a difference. I don't know, it adds that interest to the painting. Just color. That's all it is. Touches of color. It's foam. It's what, who cares what it is? It's just there. And it looks good. I like it. Of course, you use your detail round brush because it helps it not mix so much, because it's so soft. It layers pretty well. All right, kind of looking around. Yeah, maybe right in here. Not bad, not bad. Maybe a little lighter, just a little lighter, and I'll be careful and just touch in a little turquoise right here in the middle. But I'm not going too bright so that it takes away from the beautiful eye of the wave, which I'm just going to leave alone. I love it. I don't want to mess with it. I like the little lines that it has. So, in case you forgot, we really didn't do anything to it. It's just basically clear gel and white, and whatever snuck into it as we've been painting is all that is. Pretty fun. I love it when stuff just turns out. Just roll with it. The last thing you want to do is say, I've got to paint in an eye of the wave just because I have to. You know what I mean? If it works out for you, then it looks good the way it is, just leave it. It's less work for you and you don't risk ruining it. There. Okay, that's probably enough turquoise. I don't want to go turquoise crazy. It is pretty color though, isn't it? Last minute decision here. I want an old wave that's being sucked up by the new wave here. All right. It needed the visual interest. It really did. So I've got the older 3/4 flat brush. I'm going to do my tapping. There, of course, I use the fan brush to throw it in. And then this to soften it. Give it a nice little effect, I think. Looks decent. Well, sort of looks decent. A little more light on top. Okay, now it looks decent. I should probably stop here pretty soon. Okay, good. There we go. Now I'm going to take my brush and just add in foam over top of it. That's generally the way you would do these. See that? Kind of bury the top just ever so slightly. You don't want to get rid of all of it, but some of it. See what that does is it adds just a touch of, wow, it's slippery down here. Adds just a touch of interest to this area. It was a little blank, and that just adds, it kind of tells a story, you know, the old wave and it's coming back up. It just makes it more interesting. I'm getting tired today. I'm talking about stories. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.